Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, coin lovers and treasure hunters. If you've ever wondered whether that small penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune, then you're in for a treat. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1981 Lincoln penny. While it might seem like just another ordinary coin, some rare variations of this penny can be worth an incredible amount of money. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal just how much this coin can be worth if you have the right one. Spoiler alert, it's a life-changing amount. The 1981 Lincoln penny was minted during a time of change in the U.S. economy. At this point, the cost of producing pennies was rising, and just a year later, in 1982, the composition of pennies changed from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc core. But in 1981, pennies were still made of 95% copper, making them heavier and more valuable in terms of metal content alone. 3 different U.S. mints produced the 1981 Lincoln penny: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without a mint mark, while Denver coins have a small D mint mark, and San Francisco pennies were mostly made as proof coins, with an S mint mark. While millions of these coins were produced, only a select few are considered highly valuable today. Let's talk about the design of this famous coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. The word "Liberty" appears to the left of Lincoln, while the date, 1981, and the mint mark are found on the right side. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo in 1959. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln in the center of the memorial, an incredible detail that many people overlook. Surrounding the image are the words "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" at the top, with 1 cent boldly displayed at the bottom. So, what makes some 1981 Lincoln pennies worth serious money? The key factors are rarity, condition, and special minting errors. Condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Coins that are in uncirculated condition or have been professionally graded with a high mint state, MS, rating by PCGS or NGC can fetch much higher prices than worn-down coins. The highest value pennies are those graded MS 67 or higher, which means they are in nearly perfect condition. Mint errors are another reason why some of these pennies become incredibly valuable. Some errors that have been found on the 1981 Lincoln penny include double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. A double die error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect. If you spot one of these errors, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Another key detail that collectors look for is the sharpness of the mint mark. The 1981 Lincoln penny with a well-defined S mint mark from San Francisco is particularly sought after, especially if it's a Type 2 proof variety. This version features a clear, sharp S rather than a more blurry, indistinct mint mark found on Type 1 coins. The Type 2 variety is much rarer and can sell for thousands of dollars in top condition. Now, let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for, the value of this coin. If you have a rare mint error, a high-grade uncirculated coin, or a scarce proof variety, your 1981 Lincoln penny could be worth an astonishing $85,000. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1968 Lincoln penny, a small but mighty coin that could be worth far more than just 1 cent. You might be surprised to learn that certain rare variations of this penny have skyrocketed in value, turning an ordinary-looking coin into a collector's dream. Make sure you watch until the very end, because I'll be revealing just how much one of these rare pennies could be worth. Spoiler alert, it's a jaw-dropping amount. The 1968 Lincoln penny comes from an important time in American history. The late 1960s was a period of change and turbulence in the United States, with social movements, economic shifts, and political events shaping the era. It was also a time when coin collectors were beginning to pay close attention to minting variations and errors, which makes coins from this decade particularly interesting. This penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia minted pennies do not have a mint mark, while those from Denver have a small D mint mark, and those from San Francisco feature an S mint mark. While millions of these pennies were produced, only a handful are considered highly valuable today. Let's take a closer look at the design of this famous coin. The obverse features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been used on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the phrase, "In God We Trust," while to the left, the word "Liberty" is inscribed. The date, 1968, appears on the right, accompanied by the mint mark. If the coin was struck in Denver or San Francisco, flip the coin over, and you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a small but remarkable detail. The words, "United States of America," arch over the top, with "De Pluribus Unum" just below. At the bottom, the denomination, 1 cent, is boldly displayed. Now, let's talk about what makes some 1968 Lincoln pennies so valuable. Not all pennies from this year are worth a fortune, but a select few are extremely rare due to their condition, minting errors, and unique characteristics. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins that have been preserved in nearly flawless condition, known as mint state or proof coins, are always more desirable to collectors. A 1968 Lincoln penny with a high grade from a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can fetch impressive prices, but what really drives up the value of some 1968 pennies are rare mint errors. Some of the most valuable errors include double die strikes, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. A double die error occurs when the design on the coin is stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect. These coins are highly sought after because they are rare and unique. Another key factor is the mint mark itself. The 1968 S-proof penny is especially desirable when it has a sharp, well-defined S mint mark, rather than a blurry or indistinct one. Some coins even have missing or misaligned mint marks, which can make them extremely valuable to collectors. Now, let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for, the potential value of this incredible coin. If you happen to own a rare 1968 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you find one with a significant minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $95,000. That's right, something as small as a penny could be worth nearly 6 figures. So, before you toss your spare change into a jar or spend that old penny without thinking twice, take a closer look. You might just be holding onto a fortune. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1970 Lincoln penny. This tiny coin may seem like just another penny, but don't let its small size fool you. Some rare versions of this coin have sold for astonishing amounts, turning everyday pocket change into a collector's dream. Make sure you watch until the very end, because I'll be revealing just how much one of these rare pennies could be worth. You won't believe the number. The 1970 Lincoln penny was minted during an era of great change in the United States. The country was in the middle of the Vietnam War, NASA had just put a man on the moon, and protests for civil rights and social justice were shaping the nation's future. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was continuing to produce billions of pennies, but as we'll soon discover, not all of them were created equal. This penny was struck at 3 different U.S. Mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your 1970 penny was minted in Philadelphia, it will have no mint mark. If it came from Denver, it will feature a small D mint mark, and if it was minted in San Francisco, you'll see an S mint mark. While millions of these pennies were produced, certain rare variations and mint errors make some of them incredibly valuable today. Let's take a closer look at the design of this famous coin. On the front, or obverse, we have the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, has been in use since 1909. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the words, "In God We Trust," while to the left, the word "Liberty" is boldly displayed. The date, 1970, appears on the right side, along with the mint mark. If present, flipping the coin over, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design replaced the wheat ears that appeared on earlier pennies. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a remarkable detail that many people don't notice. Surrounding the memorial, you'll find the words "United States of America" at the top, "E pluribus unum" just below, and "1 cent" at the bottom. Now, here's where things get really interesting. While most 1970 pennies are only worth their face value, there are certain rare varieties and errors that can make them incredibly valuable. The most famous and sought-after error is the 1970 double die obverse penny. This means the coin's design was stamped twice, causing the lettering and numbers to appear slightly doubled. This error is most noticeable on the word "Liberty" and the date, 1970. If you have one of these, you could be looking at a serious payday. Another highly sought-after version is the 1970 small date penny. There are two types of 1970 pennies, the large date and the small date. The small date variety is much rarer and can be identified by looking at the number 7 in the date. On a small date penny, the top of the 7 is nearly level with the 0, whereas on a large date penny, the 7 appears slightly higher. The small date variety is in high demand among collectors and can sell for impressive prices. Other mint errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks, can also increase a penny's value. The rarer the error, the more collectors are willing to pay. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the potential value of this incredible coin. If you happen to have a rare 1970 Lincoln penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, or one with a significant minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $100,000. Today, we have an exciting topic that might just make you take a second look at the pennies in your pocket. We're diving into the fascinating history and incredible value of the 1980 Lincoln penny. While it may seem like just another common coin, some rare varieties of this penny have shocked collectors with their skyrocketing value. Stick around until the very end, because we'll reveal just how much one of these rare pennies can be worth, and trust me, the number will blow your mind. The 1980 Lincoln penny was minted during an interesting period in American history. The country was experiencing economic shifts, inflation was on the rise, and the price of copper was steadily increasing. In fact, just 2 years after this coin was made, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of pennies from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc core to reduce production costs. That means the 1980 penny was among the last of the solid copper cents, making it even more significant to collectors. This coin was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If you have a 1980 penny with a D mint mark, it was struck at the Denver Mint, while those with an S mint mark were produced at the San Francisco Mint. If your penny has no mint mark, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Let's take a closer look at the design of this classic coin. The obverse, or front, of the penny features the beloved portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Above Lincoln's head, you'll find the phrase, "In God We Trust," while "Liberty" is inscribed to the left. The date, 1980, appears on the right side, accompanied by the mint mark if applicable. Flipping the coin over, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears. This stunning depiction of the famous monument was created by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you'll even see a tiny image of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, a remarkable detail that many people overlook. The inscriptions, "United States of America," curve around the top, while "1 cent" is boldly displayed at the bottom. Between them, the Latin motto, "E pluribus unum," reminds us of the unity of the nation. Now, here's where things get really exciting. While most 1980 pennies are still worth just 1 cent, there are rare error varieties and pristine, uncirculated coins that have sold for staggering amounts at auctions. One of the most sought-after versions is the 1980 double-die obverse penny. This error occurs when the design is stamped onto the coin twice, creating a slight doubling effect on the text and numbers. If you notice doubling on "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. Collectors are willing to pay high prices for well-preserved examples of this rare variety. Another valuable type is the 1980 off-center strike penny. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value, especially if the date is still clearly visible. There are also rare instances of repunched mint marks, where the mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, creating a distinct doubling effect. These tiny details can mean big money for collectors who specialize in minting anomalies. Additionally, any 1980 penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation and retains its original mint luster, can fetch an impressive price at auction. Coins with high grades from professional grading services can be worth exponentially more than their face value. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the jaw-dropping value of this rare penny. If you happen to have a pristine, uncirculated 1980 Lincoln penny with a rare error, it could be worth an astonishing $1,100,000. Today, we're diving into an exciting discovery that could be hiding in your pocket change, the 1973 Lincoln penny. While it might seem like just another ordinary coin, some rare variations and minting errors have turned a few of these pennies into highly valuable collector's items. So, if you've ever wondered if a simple 1-cent coin could be worth a fortune, stay tuned because the answer might just surprise you. The 1973 Lincoln penny was minted at a fascinating time in American history. The U.S. economy was undergoing significant shifts, and inflation was rising, making even small denomination coins more crucial than ever. The composition of this penny remained the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc, but little did people know that just a decade later, in 1982, the U.S. Mint would switch to a zinc core with a thin copper coating to cut costs. That makes the 1973 penny one of the last solid copper cents before major changes took place in American coinage. This penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your coin has a small d below the date, it was struck at the Denver Mint. A tiny s indicates it came from the San Francisco Mint, while pennies with no mint mark were produced in Philadelphia. Each of these versions has unique factors that can influence its value. Let's take a closer look at the design of this iconic coin. The obverse, or front, features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in circulation since 1909, marking one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the inscription, "In God We Trust," with "Liberty" to the left and the year 1973 on the right, alongside the mint mark if applicable. Flipping the coin over, we find the famous Lincoln Memorial design by Frank Gasparo, which replaced the original wheat ears in 1959. If you look closely at the center of the memorial, you'll even see a tiny depiction of Lincoln's statue inside, an incredible detail that many people overlook. The words "United States of America" are curved along the top, while 1 cent is boldly displayed at the bottom. Between them, the Latin motto "E pluribus unum" emphasizes the unity of the nation. Now, let's talk about the real reason we're here. How much can a 1973 Lincoln penny be worth? While most circulated pennies from this year are only worth their face value, certain rare errors and pristine uncirculated coins have sold for astonishing amounts at auction. One of the most valuable varieties is the 1973 double-die obverse penny. This rare error occurs when the design is accidentally stamped onto the coin twice, creating a distinct doubling effect on the letters and numbers. If you look at the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date and notice a slight doubling, you could be holding an extremely valuable coin. Another sought-after variety is the 1973 off-center strike penny. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted. The more dramatic the error, especially if the date is still clearly visible, the higher the value. Collectors also search for 1973 repunched mint mark pennies, where the mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, creating a unique doubling effect. These minor imperfections can turn an ordinary penny into a sought-after collectible, and of course, let's not forget about condition. Any 1973 Lincoln penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation and retains its original shine, can fetch an impressive price at auction. Coins with high grades from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are especially valuable to collectors. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the jaw-dropping value of a rare 1973 Lincoln penny. If you happen to have one of these rare pennies in pristine condition with a special error, it could be worth an astonishing $99,000. That's right, one small penny, nearly worthless in daily transactions, could be worth nearly $100,000 if it has the right qualities. So, before you spend that change, take a closer look. You never know if you might be holding a life-changing treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.